Good evening and welcome to Common Sense. I'm William Ferguson. Today, all I've been hearing is mob is not a mob. And I've heard Eric Holder and Hillary Clinton and people at CNN saying ridiculous things that children would say on an elementary school playground. Hillary Clinton's and Eric Holder seem to think, if you don't do what we want, we're going to get the bullies out and beat you up, which is what they're doing. Maxine Waters, she's doing good at it. And whoever else in the Democrat Party is pulling this stunt because they have nothing. Nothing. It's like the bully on the playground that says, if you don't give me your lunch money, I'm going to have my friends over there come over and take care of you. And the mainstream media, they're saying, oh, it's not a mob. Okay, let's do this. Okay? I looked up the definition of mob, and it says, a large crowd of people, especially one that is disorderly and intent on causing trouble or violence. Okay? Do you get it? Mobs. That's what's going on. Because the Democrats, they are so mad. They can't come up with a policy. And the sad thing is they're not saying, let's be a team. Let's play together. Let's work on things together. Instead, they're saying no, because then you can have civility, which is what Hillary Clinton said. Since world, that is so uncivilized, so infantile. It's not funny. And then you've got Eric Holder. And it doesn't surprise me that you said this. When they go low, kick them. Well, he was also directly responsible for the death of a Border Patrol agent because of what was called Fast and Furious. And they had this brilliant idea. We will put GPS signaling devices in guns and then sell them to the Mexicans. That way we can figure out where the cartels are. Well, bingo. Somebody got a hold of one of those guns, turned it on a Border Patrol agent, and Eric Holder, wasn't me. No, it wasn't me. And it was literally the responsibility of Eric Holder and Barack Obama for the death of that man. Hillary Clinton was directly responsible for the deaths of an ambassador and 3 security people in Benghazi, Libya. And Waters, Maxine Waters, comes from the state of California, so you can see where that's going. But we have to, as a country, a free country, we should have instinctively within us the want, the desire to live in peace. To live in a country with an economy that grows, that performs, so that we can trade with other countries, so that our economy grows, so that the people in that economy can prosper, so that you're not being forced to do what you don't want to do. And forcing people to have insurance. I never used my insurance. But I didn't need to because I was a veteran. And I still didn't have to use my veteran benefits until I was like 48 years old. Why? Because I was a healthy young adult. I didn't need it. And so I didn't use it. And so why would you force someone to have health care insurance when they don't need it. But the media is trying to downplay what's going on. Don Lemon said, oh, it was just a group of people that disagreed with what was going on. No, it was a mob. It was a mob. In Portland, Oregon, it was a mob. The people outside of the Supreme Court was a mob. The people that were lining the hallways of Congress was a mob. It wasn't just people that were angry, expressing their opinions about what's going on. It was a mob. They wanted to be angry. They wanted to be violent. But they knew, at least in the hallways of Congress, they couldn't do it. But the people in Portland, they were getting violent on the streets. And what have the Democrats said against that? Nothing. Not a thing. Not even the mayor of Portland did a thing about it. He just let his police officers stand off in the distance and watch. That is not what this country is about. There are rules and regulations in this country to keep the peace. Because peace works. So that the people of the country can unite. If there is a difference of opinion, we can sit down and talk it out. Compromise. And that's not what the Democrats are doing. The Democrats are trying to destroy this country. And they want to say, well, look what President Trump is doing. All this violence that's going on. It has nothing to do with President Trump. And I've heard that argument today also. That it's Trump's fault that all this violence is happening. If he wasn't the president, it wouldn't be happening. No, it would be worse. Because Clinton, if she was in office, none of the corruption that was going on during the election season of 2016 would be exposed. None of it. Everything would be hidden. And if you look at California, it's going downhill. I was listening to an economist, and he was saying in California there are two classes of people. The extremely rich and the impoverished. And the extremely rich are being serviced by the impoverished. Well, how come the people are impoverished if they're serving the extremely rich? You would think that these people would be paying these people enough that they're not impoverished. So that they're not 4 or 5 families in one house. What's going on? Well, because of the laws in California, the middle class has said, you people are nuts. You're not going to take all our money. We're going to up and leave. And so they have. The extremely poor, they can't. And so you have the high upper class, the very rich, and then you have the extremely poor. Basically, addicted to heroin, killing themselves on the streets. And it's sad. That is sad. We have got to get conservative Republicans into these states that are falling apart, that are causing this country grief, expense, even death. And they're trying to force these ideas on the rest of the country. We don't want that. And these mobs, what happens should the Democrats take control? Okay, you've got Pelosi has the gavel again, and she's making the decisions in Congress. Is that what you want? Really? You want Maxine Waters to have the dictatorial power over you? Whether you're in California or not? No. Do you want Chuck Schumer to be making your decisions? I don't think he can decide when it's time to tie his shoe. I really don't. Do you want Adam Schiff making your decisions? Not me. Because the only decisions I've seen them make so far or be violent. And if they do take control and somebody steps out of line, what's going to happen? Are they going to send the mobs to your house? Are they going to send the mobs to your town? See, but if they do that, then what happens? Then the President of the United States can invoke what's called martial law, because the enemy will have become the people here. Domestic enemy. And in martial law, you can't go out after dark. You have to have papers to go from here to there. You have to be able to prove that you work, where you work. Nothing can happen. If you get out of line, you might get shot. So, you've got to look at this practically. You want to keep your freedoms? Do you want to call the mob a mob? Which is seriously, it's not a group of people that are disagreeing with what's going on. It's just like when I was a kid growing up, there was a word called shell-shocked. And that was the description of a man that had come home from war, whether it be World War II, the Korean War, or Vietnam. They were shell-shocked. Now they call it post-traumatic stress disorder. No, it's shell shock. And what came with this shell shock was called the 10,000-yard stare. These guys would go into a combat situation, and the extreme violence and death and mutilation that they witnessed in these battles, they would lose their minds. And they would stare 10,000 yards away. There was nothing behind their eyes. It was shell shock, not post-traumatic stress disorder. Man has been trying to redefine words to make it sound a little bit softer. And it's not a group of people disagreeing. It's a mob. Period. Mob is a mob. Not a group of people disagreeing. And so, the point I'm trying to make is, do you want mob mentality or do you want peace mentality? Unity, not division. You need to get your face out of your iPhone, iPad, or whatever and research who's doing what in your state, in your district. What are their policies, programs that will help build the United States to unify, to bring peace, prosperity, safety, security to this country? Because we are a country, we are a sovereign nation. And President Trump is doing everything he can within his power. And he is making America great again. And if you want to sit and listen to the lying, liberal, mainstream, fake news media, please don't let it get into your head. Because it's all false. And you young people, you college kids, you haven't had time to really experience politics. I've seen it from very, very good to extremely bad. And the worst I've seen it was Barack Obama. And so far the best I've seen it has been President Donald Trump. And second to him was President Ronald Reagan. And President Trump is following a lot of Ronald Reagan's policies. And it works. Don't let the media or your friends or anybody, especially the politicians, lie to you. Say, I want to hear some policies. What do you have to bring us together, to unite this country so that we prosper, live in peace, not division, not violence? Who's promoting what? That's all I've got for today. Please pray for the leadership of this country, that they will guide us by God's word to peace, prosperity, safety, security, and unity, and that we keep our freedoms given to us in the Constitution. Thank you for joining me this evening. And please join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for Common Sense.